Is Arnold Austin. I'm a relationship trauma coach out of New Jersey. Tonight, I want to talk to you about relationships, but I'm going to talk to you about some of the competition that takes place within our relationships. If you're familiar with me, if you're not familiar with me, again, I am a relationship trauma coach. So that's based upon the traumatic events that take place within our relationships. And one of the things that may take place that you might not be aware of is that sometimes you can be in a relationship with a person that you think that they love you and that they're there for you and that they're supposedly committed to you and they're supposed to be a support and all these other different things. But what you'll find sometimes is that that same person that you think that is loyal and that's faithful and that's someone that has your back is actually a person that is in secret competition with you. One of the things that I would have you watch out for, and I'm gonna go over like 3 things real quick just to share with you on this live. And I appreciate everybody that taps, likes, shares, hits the bell notification, because I do these lives pretty much almost every day. So one of the points that I wanted to make is that a lot of the competition that you'll have within relationships is something that's done from a place of secrets. Like, you won't actually know that you're in competition with this person because they're not going to come out and say that, yo, I'm competing with you. They're not going to come out and say that. So it's going to have to be the type of thing that you're going to have to perceive it with your thoughts, with your feeling in your body. You're going to have to perceive of what's going on. And so one of the things that you have to watch out for is that if by chance you're in a highly manipulative, a highly toxic relationship, a lot of times those relationships, whether you call them narcissistic or whatever, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but if it's a narcissistic relationship, many times one of the characteristics of those individuals, which we would classify as narcissists, they seek and need a lot of attention from others, but they also are the type that they have woundings, like abandonment woundings. And part of those abandonment woundings is that they never actually settle in to that relationship, whatever relationship that they're in. That's part of the reason why they cheat. It's part of the reason why they might take and fight and siphon money out of the relationship that they're in with you and take it and store it somewhere else, because they're always in preparation of someone supposedly leaving their lives, because that's been their experience. It's been their experience based upon the way that they were raised in their household and in their family and the people that they're around. They saw people that were not really actually in their lives, that stayed in their lives for extended periods. And maybe there was someone that was in the adoption system. And so they're not really used to people taking them in and being there for them and loving on them, and without feeling like, this person's got an agenda. And so if you're in a relationship with a person like that, then they're never secure. And because they're never secure, they're always going to be in competition with you. So that means it's going to look like they're going to need to be the center of attention. So if it's a household with 2 parents and some kids, those kids are going to need to give all the attention and all the admiration and adoration and all of the adorning and all of the gifts and all of the affirmations and all of the things to that one person who is the person that needs it the most. But it's to the person. And so it's going to bleed over into a lot of different areas. It's going to bleed over into your finances. It's going to bleed over into, out when you're out in public. It's going to bleed over into just so many different areas. But again, I want to hit you with 3 things, maybe 4 real quick, that you can kind of look out for as you're meeting people, to identify if in fact this is a person that might end up being a source of competition versus someone that actually is going to love you and that's going to be there as a partner to where you could build something with. One of the things that one of the ways that people gain control of relationships, and this is obvious, this is something that's pretty much as obvious that I feel like is obvious, is that through arguments. Arguing is one of the foundational ways that people start establishing a hierarchy of who is what, whose opinion matters, who's important, who's this, who's whatever. And so through that, if you're in a relationship where there's a lot of arguing and a lot of disagreements and a lot of debating and a lot of this and all that it's a form of posturing, where both parties are posturing to kind of trying to get their side heard. But in the process of that, what they don't probably realize is that while you're posturing, you're not joining, because posturing represents that you're standing on your side and you're posturing based upon your opinion and your thoughts about things, but you're not really concerned about what that other person thinks. But if you're going to have a healthy relationship, it's going to require healthy communication. And part of having healthy communication is it's not going to really, it shouldn't really matter to you as far as who's right. It shouldn't really matter to you as far as, who gets to say, oh, I'm right. No, it shouldn't matter to you. The thing that should matter to you, if there's some form of a disagreement, is, hearing your person out, actually hearing what they're saying and receiving what they're saying and repeating back to them what they just said, to allow them to know that not only did you watch and see what they were saying, but you actually heard what they were saying, and that it was so important to you that you regurgitated back to them in so many words what they said. Because the biggest part with arguments or disagreements is that everybody wants to be, the people that are in these situations want to be heard. They want to be heard. And so if we're not hearing our person and we're not seeing them, so it's more than visually seeing that person, you have to perceive. And I said this on the live earlier tonight, is that, being a male, I have to come from more of a perception place, with women that I've talked to in the past, because a lot of times, and not always, but there's a thing with women that they kind of paint a picture, but they don't actually tell you exactly what it is. So you got to kind of figure it out. And, whereas someone like me, I'm direct. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm thinking and where my thoughts is and where my speech, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you directly where it is. And so with that being said is, if you're in a position where you're with a person and there's a lot of arguments and this, that, and the other, a lot of that is just posturing for someone to be quote unquote in control. And so in the process of winning, because, if we're not willing to side with what the truth is, and we want to debate and we want to gaslight and do all these things, then we're not coming from a place of really wanting to join with that person. We're coming from a place of needing to win something. But what did we win? What are you winning in the process of winning that argument? You won an argument, but what did you win? Did you win your person? Did you win their heart? Did you win their understanding? Did you win their admiration or adoration? Did you win them in the process of all that stuff? Most likely no, because if you won, many times they were not heard. What they felt and what they thought wasn't valid. It wasn't a valid point. It didn't matter at that point. But it did matter. It mattered to them. And so what happens over a period of time by this person not being heard, that it builds up resentment. And so there can never be a joining and a connection, in a gathering and a connection with that, really truly with that person, because you have two separate people with two separate agendas. And they're not joining, those agendas aren't joined together. It's this person's opinion versus this. So that's one of the first things is arguments. And then my part of that, like a 1A or 1B is, how can we love someone that we're actually we're competing with? Can you love someone that you're competing with? And if you can, explain it to me in the chat, how you can love someone that you're competing with. Second thing, can you genuinely be happy for their success? Are you the type of person that you're okay with yourself? And so this is part of the reason why it's important to find people that have a certain level of confidence within themselves, that there's not a lot of trauma and a lot of negativity in their background and stuff that they haven't worked on, that they're not bringing this stuff to the table and they're offering it to you as part of what a relationship looks like. But you want people that are going to not only be that you can be physical with, but that people that you can actually, generally try to build something with them, build something together, as far as your finances, as far as your union, as far as the things that you're going to do spiritually, as far as the way you're going to raise your kids. And so this togetherness is part of building a tight bond that you can actually have something that's sustainable for a period of time. But can you genuinely be happy for that person? And can they genuinely be happy for you? When people cannot be genuinely happy for you, and this isn't about someone saying, oh, congratulations, I'm so proud of you, I'm so glad you did this, that, and the other, so on and so forth. And it's more than that, because it's easy to say things with our words. It's easy to say things with our words, but are their actions matching their words? If their actions aren't matching their words, then they're probably not genuinely happy for you. Are their actions matching up what they're saying as far as them supporting you? Are they supporting you to the point that their actions, when you ask them to do something, they're not delaying to get it done, but they're doing what you asked to do, because what they're doing isn't just for you, but it's for the family and it's for the unit. It's for both of you. It's for what you're building for your future and how you're trying to establish yourself and how you're trying to, put your family ahead, get your family ahead, and how you can increase your finances and be blessed. But can they genuinely be happy for you? And can you genuinely be happy for them? Where you're celebrating their achievements, because it's not only their achievement, because you're with the person. It's not only their achievement, but it's your achievement. They're achieving, but you're achieving with them. Whether they're going back to college, whether they're starting a business, whether they got a pay raise, maybe they went from 5 figures to 6 figures, maybe they started a business, an online business. It could be any number of things. But are you genuinely happy for that person? Or do you have, when they bring home something that they've done, are they the type of person that they always have to talk about what they've done? Because if they're talking about what they've done, then they're probably not genuinely happy for you. There's something within them that has to be dealt with, or that has to go through some kind of a healing process, because it's going to always be this type of thing that they have to talk about what they did when you've just done something, because they are in secret competition. And it's a hard thing to accept, but it's a thing that I would ask you to consider and to look at very, very closely, because it's even harder when you find out later that they were siphoning money out of your accounts and taking it and moving it in other places and doing all these things behind your back. And, so this is all part of the process. Because again, when you're married, this video is for married people or committed, or people that are committed in a relationship. When your person has success, you have success. But the thing that's going to be required, which would be thing number 3, is can you have unity? Are you a person that is unified with that person? Are you unified? Is there unity in this relationship? Unity represents oneness, togetherness. Are you unified with that person? Because in order for you two not to be in competition, you have to be in union and unified with that person. Everything that you're doing for the betterment of each other. You're considering each other. You're looking at each other and how you can grow, and how your life can get better, and how your family can get better, and how things can just get better for you and the things that you're trying to do. And so these are the 3 things I wanted to share with y'all tonight. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. Thank you for the likes, the subscribes, the shares, hitting the notification button. I thank each and every one of y'all. Again, my name is Arnold Austin. If you're interested in getting coaching, if you've come through a traumatic relationship, some type of relationship where it was very traumatic, as far as there's the different events that took place, which you feel like you need help from, reach out to me, DM me. I do offer coaching. So appreciate each and every one of you.